The real power, the real strength, comes when you embrace the solitude, the silence, and the stillness that comes with being alone. First of all, in the quiet, you find clarity. In the hustle and bustle of the world, it's easy to get lost. But when you're alone, when you turn off the noise, you can hear your own thoughts. You can find your true voice. You stop living for others and you start living for yourself. Being alone forces you to reflect. You can't point fingers anymore. You can't blame anyone else for the choices you've made, the mistakes you've encountered. It's all on you. But that's the beauty of it, because when you take responsibility, you open the door to growth. That reflection becomes your blueprint for the future. And here's something most people don't understand: being alone is the greatest way to build your independence. You stop depending on others for affirmation, for validation. You realize all you need is you. You are your own support system. You are your own strength. And when you discover that, you stand taller, you walk straighter, and you move through this world with a confidence that nobody can take from you. You see, alone time gives you focus, real focus. The world is full of distractions. But when you're alone, you can work without anyone pulling at your energy. You can build your vision piece by piece and not worry about what anyone else thinks. That's when you do your best work. Being alone gives you the chance to discover your true purpose. I'm telling you, you can't find your purpose in a crowd. You can't find your purpose by looking at others. It comes from within. It comes when you look inside yourself, when you dig deep into your soul and ask the tough questions. Why am I here? What do I want out of life? The answers will come, but only if you're brave enough to be alone and listen. And let me tell you, this healing happens when you're alone. You can't heal from pain if you're constantly surrounded by noise. The recovery, the renewal, it happens in those quiet moments. And once you heal, once you recover, you become stronger. You rise higher. You emerge from that solitude, not as you were, but as something better. True confidence, it comes from being alone. When you're forced to look at yourself, when there's nobody to hide behind, you either crumble or you rise. And I'm telling you, you rise. You learn who you really are, and from there you build the unshakable confidence that can't be taken away by anyone. Finally, the power of being alone, it's simple, it's control. When you are alone, you take control of your life. You are no longer waiting for someone else to decide your fate. You are the author of your story. You are the one who gets to decide where you go, how high you fly, and how you move forward. So, next time you find yourself alone, don't fear it. Don't run from it. Embrace it. In that moment, you have the power to change your life, to build your destiny, and to discover who you truly are. Being alone is not lonely, it's liberating, it's powerful. And if you understand that, you can achieve anything. Being alone allows you to embrace a silence that is rare in today's world. We live in a society that constantly demands our attention, phones buzzing, people talking, expectations pulling at us from every direction. The noise never stops. But when you're alone, you step into a space of quiet, and in that quiet, something extraordinary happens. It's in this silence that you can truly hear yourself. The distractions fade away and you're left with nothing but your own thoughts. You begin to realize that the world has taught you to be afraid of silence, to fear stillness. But in reality, silence is where clarity is born. This is the moment when you can strip away the clutter, the judgments, the opinions of others, and find out who you really are. When everything is stripped down to its core, you begin to hear what your soul is telling you. It's in this silence that you can access your truest self, the person you've been burying under layers of obligations, expectations, and noise. The power of being alone is in the fact that you don't need anyone else to tell you who you are, what you should be, or how you should think. In this space, you can simply be. You can hear your inner voice, and it's in this quietude that you discover the direction in which you should move, the choices you need to make, and the goals you should chase. It's easy to overlook silence when we are surrounded by distractions, but the truth is, silence is where the answers lie. It's where you confront yourself with no one to rely on but your own mind. And it is a beautiful thing, because in that moment you have the power to choose the next step. You begin to understand that the world might be loud, but you don't have to let that noise define you. The quiet moments you spend alone allow you to tune out everything that doesn't matter, to quiet the outside chaos, and listen to the one voice that should matter most, your own. That silence becomes your most powerful tool. It's not empty or hollow. It's full of potential, of growth, of understanding. It's in the silence that you reconnect with your purpose and realize that sometimes the best decisions, the clearest answers, and the most profound realizations come not from the noise around you, but from the silence within you. Self-reflection is one of the most powerful tools you have for personal growth. When you're alone, you are given the time and space to look inward. This is not about thinking of your flaws or mistakes, but rather about taking a deep, honest look at who you are, where you've been, and where you are going. It's about accepting your past without regret and understanding how it has shaped the person you've become. In the stillness of being alone, you start to unravel the layers of your life and, most importantly, your own mindset. You stop running from the uncomfortable truths and begin to confront them head-on. Reflection is where you recognize your strengths and weaknesses, your victories and failures. It's about asking yourself the tough questions: what am I truly afraid of? Why do I keep repeating the same patterns? What do I want to change? These aren't easy questions to answer, and they certainly aren't questions the world will ask you, but they are necessary for growth. Without looking inward and being honest with yourself, you can't move forward. You can't evolve. The person you are today is a reflection of the decisions you've made in the past. But to change the trajectory of your future, you must first acknowledge the lessons, the habits, and the attitudes that have shaped your journey. When you take time to reflect, you're not just analyzing your mistakes, you're learning from them. You begin to see patterns in your behavior and identify the areas where you've held yourself back. Instead of letting those setbacks define you, you learn to embrace them as opportunities to grow. Every failure, every challenge, every moment of doubt is an opportunity to see what you're made of and to decide how you're going to move forward. Self-reflection also gives you the clarity to focus on your goals. Without looking back, it's easy to get caught up in the demands of life, to let time slip by without making any real progress. But when you pause and reflect, you get clear on what really matters. You can evaluate whether you're heading in the right direction or if you're chasing someone else's dreams. Reflection helps you align your actions with your values so that every step you take is intentional and focused on your own growth. It's in these moments of solitude, when you're reflecting on your own life, that the real transformation happens. It may not always feel comfortable, and it certainly won't always be easy, but it is necessary. It's the foundation on which all progress is built, and it's the kind of growth that leads to real, lasting change. Because once you know who you are, once you truly understand the forces that have shaped you, you gain the power to shape your future. Independence is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself, and it's often forged in moments of solitude. When you're alone, you come face to face with yourself, and in that space, you learn one of the most valuable lessons in life: you don't need anyone to complete you. You are enough as you are. This realization can be a game changer. It shifts your perspective on everything: how you approach challenges, how you make decisions, and how you carry yourself in the world. Independence isn't about being isolated or rejecting help from others. It's about knowing that your strength comes from within. It's about being able to stand firm in your own decisions, trust your instincts, and move forward even when no one else is watching. When you are independent, you stop looking for validation from others. You stop needing the approval of your peers, your friends, or even your family. You realize that their opinions, while important, do not define who you are. What matters is how you see yourself and the confidence you carry in your own abilities. This independence builds a resilience that cannot be easily shaken. Life will throw challenges your way, and while you may face moments of doubt or struggle, your inner strength will carry you through. When you're not depending on anyone else to fix your problems or validate your worth, you start to tap into a deeper level of self-reliance. You understand that even in your lowest moments, you have everything within you to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep going. You've learned how to rely on your own wisdom, your own courage, and your own perseverance.